It's been well documented that the Toronto Blue Jays need velocity in their bullpen. The simplest way to address it is to make an addition. But what if the velocity was just waiting to be called up from AAA? Yosver Zulueta has skyrocketed through the Jays pipeline, so we'll break down his potential impact next on Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. A lot to get into today. First, I want to thank you all for the support. The new year is finally here, and we could not be more thankful for all of you, for all the support in 2022, all your interaction in the comments. It was truly something great.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable, and we're excited to see what this year has to come for us and the Blue Jays. And hopefully, you had a great New Year. But let's get into the video today. It's gonna be a fun one. And like you said, everyone's talking about a major fireballer out of the bullpen that we need to sign or trade for, and Liam Hendricks, or other players like that. But we might have him internally. So today we're gonna talk about Yosver Zulueta. So let's just get right into it. This is the prospect rankings for 2022, and he is now fifth in our pipeline system. And his ETA is next year. This is for next season out of the bullpen. He's probably going to be a bullpen arm. He's 6'1", 190. And I'll put one more screenshot here. This is his scouting grades. So 70 fastball, 55 curve, 55 slider, 55 changeup, 45 control, overall 50. That's on a scale from 20 to 80. Now, before we get into, I'll read the second part of this. But what are your thoughts on Zulueta and any potential thoughts you have on him coming into the bullpen next season?
Well, that was actually last year's rankings, so
Yep.
he's probably going to be even higher coming into this season. I'd expect him to be maybe top three, maybe even second behind Ricky Tiedemann. So he's very, very exciting. He throws extremely hard. He's got put away stuff. The only issue with him is that his walk rate is pretty high. So I don't know. It remains to be seen how he develops, but I think he's got a legitimate chance to crack the opening day roster because they put him on the 40 man. So might as well give him a shot in spring training and go from there.
Yeah, I agree. And he is the most, or I'd say one of the most MLB ready prospects we have, and probably one that is the most likely to get called up. And I'll quickly read his little, I guess, a scouting report here saying signed for $1 million by the Jays in 2019. The hard throwing Cuban underwent Tommy John surgery and missed the entirety of the 20 season while he rehabbed. Zulu quickly became the talks of the camp in 2021 when he came in throwing 99. Unbelievable raw talent. Unfortunately, he tore his ACL covering a base against the very first batter in 21, bringing another season to a frustrating premature end. So obviously, he's been riddled with injuries a little bit, which is a bit unfortunate. But like you said, he has the potential to be ready to go in the bullpen and be that missing piece. And I'll quickly show you one clip right here. This is you can kind of see him, just kind of a mix of his pitches here while I let it play out. And I don't know. He has a lot of good stuff. Look at that pitch. So much break, and obviously this isn't his best pitch, but I don't know. He looks very, very promising to me, and one that can hopefully, and maybe that's why we're not seeing any moves out of the bullpen right now. Maybe they just have tons of faith in Yosver Zulueta.
Maybe they do, but I don't know if he's ready for a high leverage
No.
role quite yet because of the walks, because of his lack of experience. He is 24 years old. He's a bit of an older prospect, so he's not. It's not like you're calling up a 20-year-old kid and saying, "Here, go pitch the eighth inning for me." So maybe he does. He does have a spot etched on this team. I'd like to see it, but we can't be sure. We can't be sure, but he definitely tore up the minor leagues, and similar to Addison Barger, he kind of skyrocketed through different levels, and just he just looks good.
Yeah, he looks very good. And we'll pop up another screenshot here, and you can look at this here. This is another little piece of people talking about Zooletics. He's kind of come into the came crashing into the spotlight recently. He says Zulueta climbed quickly once he showed his health, rising from single A to double A with an All-Stars future game thrown in for good measure. However, knee and shoulder trouble frustratingly put him back in the IL. He had been pitching in relief before those concerns, and he would be ready, major league ready quickly in that role, given the overall of his quality stuff. And in that All-Star game, he pitched to a 0 ERA, and he was actually the winning pitcher of that game. And here you can have a look at his stats. So this is in 2022. Obviously, in 2021, he was riddled with injuries. He pitched one game. I don't even know if he played a game, but in 2022, he, a solid 3.72 ERA. And you can kind of look at the innings pitch, whether he walks a lot of guys, strikes out. He does walk a fair bit, 32 walks and 55 total innings, but he also strikes out a lot. And it's kind of, I don't know, he has the stature for a bullpen arm for sure.
Yeah, definitely, and I don't know. He might be ready. It all depends what kind of strides that he makes in spring training. Like, is he walking the ballpark when they're playing their tune-up games, or does he look good? Does his command look good? And maybe he needs to take a couple miles an hour off. Maybe he needs to throw 97, 98 as opposed to 99, 100, and just kind of figure out his delivery and really spot his stuff. So he's got good break on his curveball, on his changeup as well. He's got starter potential if he can figure out the control. And he actually, I don't know, did he start games in the minor
I think he
leagues,
was
Nick?
mainly a
If you
reliever. I think
pull
he may
up
have started a
if
couple.
you
I'll
pull
pop it
up
up.
the
Yeah,
stats there.
yeah, he did
Yeah, so
start
see, he
too.
started 12 games. Yeah, he started 12 games in 2022. Now his stuff plays better as a reliever right now at
Yep.
this point of his career, but if he can stay healthy, I don't see why he can't make a starter role sometime in his career.
Yeah, especially maybe they start him in the bullpen, and you can see like his ERA wasn't super impressive necessarily, but again, he was coming back from an injury. And you don't really you look at more so the raw numbers and the tools, and I'll show you another clip here of his different pitches. And like you said, he has an
Yeah,
electric fastball.
gas.
Yeah, he has an electric fastball, and he just built like a reliever, like you said. But again, if comes in, starts as a reliever, and is tearing up that, maybe they send him back down, or depending how he does, and develop into a starter because we still don't have that fifth starter spot, but I think a lot of it depends because we're trying to win now. A lot of it depends on how Kikuchi, Mitch White, and any other additions we have start to play out because that fifth starter spot, plus we have Ricky Tiedemann coming up, so who knows how much actual room there is. And I'll ask you a question. Would you rather trust Zulueta or I guess internal options, doesn't have to be Zulueta, for the bullpen, or would you rather sign or trade for another piece at this point in the offseason?
Well, it depends. It all depends. I think Zulueta can replace one of the arms that are there right now, like
Trevor
Trevor
Richards.
Richards. I think he's a better option than Trevor Richards. Now, Richards is proven, he's you know what you're getting from him. He's going to be a middling reliever. He's going to be okay for you, but he won't necessarily make you any better, but he has potential to make you worse. Now, Zulueta, the potential, his ceiling is much, much higher than Trevor Richards. Now he can go into the majors and flame out. He could suck. He could walk the ballpark, and you truly don't know what'll happen until you actually bring him up. But I think just his ceiling alone should give him the edge over some guys that are already in the bullpen for the Toronto Blue Jays. I still think they should go out and get another high leverage arm because they could use it. They could use it. There's still, I think, not a significant hole in the bullpen, but do you really want 94, 95 every seventh or eighth inning? I don't know. I don't necessarily, so it remains to be seen.
Yeah, no, I agree, and hopefully, I feel like they might address the flame throwing issue with another bullpen arm at the deadline. I feel like that's probably more likely at this point. But again, who
It'll
knows?
cost more.
It will cost more, and
It'll
there's
cost
lots of
more.
off season left, so maybe they do that along with a trade. We still need a fourth outfielder because we really don't have one right now. And I don't know, it's gonna be very interesting to see. And I'll pop up this final screenshot here. This is from Ben Nicholson Smith, and like I said earlier, he along with Ricky Tiedemann, Zulueta has earned spots in the futures game, and he pitched to a 0 ERA. So I don't know. He seems to be. I don't know if I would say our future, but he is. Our future's looking fairly bright in the pitching side. Again, we have Ricky Tiedemann, and I don't know. Zulueta, like, it's very interesting to me to see how fast our prospects have been like rising up through the rankings. Like you said, we had Barger, who's looking to get. I think I saw a report the other day looking to get like 200 to 300 at bats or something next year. The Jays are hoping to do. We might have another video on him coming up, but I don't know. Zulueta as a whole. I'll pop this one more time for you guys. He just looks phenomenal. And is there any final things you want to say about him before I wrap it up?
Yeah, the Jays development system is very good, and they draft well. They sign international free agents very well. And that's why, I'm not too attached to these prospects when it comes to getting major league talent because you can have a quick turnaround in the majors. Like, don't look at teams like, I don't know, the Pirates or just a team to give you an example, the Pirates. Like, they've been rebuilding forever because they never want to go for it. They never want to spend any money. But the Jays have found that balance in these past few years of going for it and still keeping their farm system intact. So it's easy to turn around in the major leagues and develop your farm system just within the span of 2 years. There's so many rounds in the draft, and you never know who's gonna I don't know, I guess figure it out. You can find a guy in the 13th round and then he skyrockets. Like Ricky Tiedemann was, I think a fourth round pick.
Yeah, I believe so.
Uh, Addison Barger was a sixth round pick. So those are not supposed to be major league guys, but they end up coming up through the system and they make their mark and climb so quickly that you got to give them a chance at the major league level. So that could happen to anyone, and I don't know. I'm not saying to trade Yosver Zulueta, but I'm saying we don't necessarily have to hold our breath over all these prospects because they come around quickly.
Yeah, they do.
What I'm
And
saying.
we traded Gavin Moreno, so they're clearly they're open to doing it. But hope you guys enjoy the video, and it's a very interesting one. Let us know what your thoughts are on Zuleta and if you'll be a part of the bullpen next season, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks.